Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, and today we will talk about focusing on Jesus. Quit worrying about your brother. It seems as parents, we say this far too often. It's common for our kids to be so focused on what their brothers or sisters are doing. They stop caring for themselves and their own decisions. The same is true for us as Christians. We get so wrapped up in what other Christians are doing or not doing that we forget to focus on our own living for Christ in His power. This is the message John captures for us as he closes out his gospel. This is what John writes in John chapter 21, beginning in verse 20. Peter turned and saw the disciple whom Jesus loved following them, the one who also had leaned back against him during the supper and had said, "Lord, who is it that is going to betray you?" When Peter saw him, he said to Jesus, "Lord, what about this man?" Jesus said to him, "If it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? You follow me." So the saying spread abroad among the brothers that this disciple was not to die. Yet Jesus did not say to him that he was not to die. But if it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? What a strong close to one of the greatest letters ever written. In the previous verses, Jesus had told Peter what kind of death he would experience. Peter's crucifixion was to glorify God. It was the cost of his discipleship, and it was worth it. But Peter here sees John. He's talking about the author of this gospel, and he asks, "Lord, what about this man?" In other words, so let me get this straight, Jesus. I'm going to die a horrible death just like you? Well, guess what? We know from history this happened. So Peter, he sees him and he calls him out. He says, "Well, that's not exactly what I had in mind, Jesus. So what about John? Does he get the same kind of death?" Well, Jesus' reply is one we should remember. Jesus says, "If it is my will that he remain until I come, what is that to you? Follow me." In other words, Peter, don't worry about John. Don't worry about the disciples. That's my business. Your business is you. You follow me. Keep your eyes on me. Don't look to the left. Don't look to the right. Look at me. Follow me. In Matthew chapter 20, Jesus shares the parable of the workers. Each worked different hours, but all received the same payment. All was fair. The same is true for each believer's following Jesus. Some will go into ministry. Others will minister as they work and live. Some will experience great trials. Others will experience limited hardship. Some will die for their faith. But all are called to live for their faith. Jesus says, "Focus on me. I will guide you. My grace is sufficient for you." So, in other words, Jesus says, you do you. This is great advice for us today. It's easy to look around and see what people have or experience and get jealous or even angry. But there are so many factors that we never know. And frankly, it's none of our business. Now, this is not a call to not watch out for sin in the lives of our brothers and sisters. We are. But that's a different topic. Jesus wants us to focus on Him and follow Him no matter the location, cost, or distance. So will you follow Jesus? Will you focus on Him alone? It's my prayer that we will, because when we do, we will win the day.